as good right now. There you see the wind southwest at 14 miles per hour. The odds, here they are in the 6-horse field. In the #1 position, Strike the Gold with a new jockey, Chris Antley, is being held at 5-2. No Work All Play at 9-1. Fly So Free, the favorite, at 2-5 now. 3 other horses in the field. Big Courage at 25-1. Wilder Than Ever, 13-1. And Serrato, 35-1. And now for the post parade, let's go up to Dave Johnson.
And there is #1, Strike the Gold, whose sire Alydar won the Bluegrass by 13 lengths in 1978. This is a fast closing colt who was only a length behind Fly So Free in the Florida Derby. The question is, can this horse keep improving? He will have to today. Just behind is #2, No Work All Play, a surprise entrant for trainer Harvey Veneer, who saddled his sire Playfella for a long shot win on a sloppy track 8 years ago in the Bluegrass. #3 is the big horse, and he has impeccable credentials. This is Fly So Free, who hasn't lost a race since last July. Now, the only question seems to be whether he can handle this slightly damp track. The folks here think he can. He is 2-5. The 4 horse is Big Courage. This is the Cinderella and the family affair horse, bought for only $3,000, owned by the mother, trained by the father, ridden by the daughter. 2 races on a sloppy track against easier competition. Both impressive driving victories. The 5 horse is Wilder Than Ever, and he ran his best race last out when he rallied from 10th to be 3rd in traffic just 2 weeks ago. Now, the 5 horses that you've just seen have competed in 42 races combined. Here's #6 coming onto the screen now. That's Sir Otto, who is making a remarkable 24th career start himself today. Only 2 wins, though, and he was a badly beaten 6th last out in the Jim Beam Stakes. Well, that's the field for the 1991 Bluegrass.
Track condition is probably going to be a little bit of a concern, since neither of these 2 favorites have ever run on anything other than a fast track. And another major concern becomes pace, or rather the lack of it. And of the 2 favorites, Fly So Free probably will be bothered the least by that situation. His tactical speed gives him a versatility which stretch running Strike the Gold doesn't possess. And speed in the Bluegrass has practically been mandatory in the last decade. The very presence of Strike the Gold, a horse who's eligible for non-winners other than maiden or claimant, typifies the attitude towards Fly So Free all over the country. Because he does not draw off from his competition, because he does loaf in the stretch, he's not intimidating. And since there is no dominant speed again today, he may suddenly find himself out there alone on the lead a little early and go back, Jim, to being tempted to display that lackadaisical attitude that's almost gotten him in trouble.
2 horse No Work All Play with Shane Sellers, and a look at the stakes and track record. None of the horses wear mudcaulks. The jockeys wearing black ribbons on the back of their helmets in honor of 20-year-old Rodney Dickens, who was killed in a spill at Sportsman's Park on Sunday. Dickens, a native of Owensboro, Kentucky, about 300 miles from here, had ridden at Keeneland only last Friday afternoon. And here is Big Courage moving into line. Tammy Fox. All of these are 3-year-olds. All carry 121 pounds. That's 5 pounds less than the horses will carry in the Kentucky Derby. 1 mile and 1/8 today's distance. The Derby 1 mile and 1/4. And the last horse, Sir Otto, ready to move into line. All set. And they're off. Toward the inside, No Work All Play. Quickly taking the early lead. There goes Fly So Free charging up on the outside. Big Courage is racing 3rd. Sir Otto is 4th. Strike the Gold scoots through and saves ground. 5th along the inside. Wilder Than Ever 6th and last, about 5 lengths off the lead as they swing around the clubhouse turn. No Work All Play has the lead by a length as the favorite Fly So Free on the outside is right there in striking position. It's 5 lengths farther back. Big Courage is racing 3.5. On the inside, Strike the Gold is 4th and inching up. Then a gap of 4 back to Sir Otto, followed on the inside by Wilder Than Ever. A quick early fraction considering the track condition is good, 23 and change, and down the backstretch it's still No Work All Play, being stalked by Fly So Free with Jose Santos on the outside, and Santos has plenty of horse left. It's 6 lengths farther back, and on the outside, Strike the Gold is racing 3rd by a head. Big Courage along the inside is 4th, and then it's 4 lengths back to the trailers. On the outside, Sir Otto and Wilder Than Ever. Now around the turn. No Work All Play draws clear by a length and 1/4. There's 3/8 of a mile to go, and now Fly So Free on the outside charges up. and Strike the Gold is in gear third and moving on the outside. There's a quarter of a mile to go. No work, all play at the rail. Between horses, Fly So Free, and on the outside, Strike the Gold. Some tight quarters at the top of the stretch, and Strike the Gold with Chris Antley roars up and grabs the lead. An eighth of a mile to go. Strike the Gold in front. Fly So Free on the inside, and down the stretch they come. Here comes Strike the Gold in front by 3 lengths. Fly So Free second, and no work, no play third. It was Strike the Gold winning it, taking this year's running of the Bluegrass Stakes by 2.5 lengths. Fly So Free was second, and Jose Santos got into this horse pretty good through the stretch. He hit him about 7 times with the whip, but it was the one horse, Strike the Gold, trained by Nick Zito, who didn't change his style of running. He came from behind and is the unofficial winner in 1 minute, 48 2/5 seconds.
Stakes won one race in his life, had only appeared in one other stakes race, and that was the Florida Derby, has won the Bluegrass Stakes, and the picture for the Kentucky Derby is muddy.
He gave very good indication in the Florida Derby that he might be able to run Fly So Free down if he had another chance. He was here early. It may have been the key. He was here early. He had works over this racetrack. He got very acquainted with this Keeneland racetrack, and today he would everything in order and came down through the stretch. One going away and looks good for 1.25 miles to me.
So what does this do for the Derby?
Well, certainly everyone who was suspect of Fly So Free is looking now and nodding their head, and I'm sure the connections of Dinard and Hansel are loading their van right now for Louisville.
We got Dinard, we've got Hansel, who won the Jim Beam Stakes. We've got Best Pal, and next week we'll see Meadow Star.
And a big race from Kyle's Our Man last week.
Excuse me, a replay quickly with Dave Johnson.
Well, Strike the Gold always had the leaders in sight, and take a look now on the outside as Chris Antley tips the colt whose sire was Alydar, who won this race by 13 lengths. Doesn't matter if he didn't win by 13, but Strike the Gold on to victory here. And Nick Zito, the trainer, who is the architect of this upset, said that he wasn't going to send him to the front, but this horse was not as far back as he usually is, but he was off the pace, and here he comes through the wire to win it easily. Fly So Free finishing second, and no work, all play was third. The 1-5 favorite Fly So Free will probably go on to the Kentucky Derby, but not with as much luster, and there'll probably be more company in the starting gate.
Well, and there was a reaction of owner Giles Brophy hugging trader Scotty Schulhofer. The result is still unofficial. Unofficially, Strike the Gold, Fly So Free, no work, all play, and we'll be back.
The only excuse and I can find it to him is the track is kind of slippery a little bit. He's a big horse, so he don't grab too well in the track.
Here's a look at the stretch run. What was the situation at this point?
Well, in the cuerpo, I waited for him to come in. I know he wanna come in for somewhere, and I have the inside, and I have it take care pretty good, and I'm looking for the outside, and he really surprised me. He coming too quick to me, and I mean, when I saw him and my horse saw too, another horse coming, and he tried to catch him, but he can't grab any good in the track.
In a word, was he tired at the end?
He's not tired really. He's